How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Still feeling pretty much under the weather, and it is quite late, but I wanted to get this video out because there's quite a bit of information. And also, for those of you watching, I know I normally stream on Fridays. I am still going to try, but it really depends how much my coughing fits will actually impact. So I am going to put a post up on the community section, as I know a lot of you don't follow me on Twitter or are in my Discord. So I'm going to put something up on the community page if I'm not streaming, but hopefully I can at least maybe stream like an hour or so. As you can hear, my voice is a little better today, so hopefully, fingers crossed, things will be good. But that being said, we almost hit that 500 likes challenge. We got just under 400 in my previous video. The two previous videos actually did break 500, so that's amazing. So I'm still hopeful that the last video can break 500, giving it a couple more days. Sorry, I hit the mic. But for this video again, we are going to set a nice 500 like challenge, and it is a juicy one. Right, so on with the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet done so. We are trying to hit that 6,000 subs, and then hopefully by Christmas, at 7,500 subs. That is the goal. So let's see. So as you can see on screen right now, you can see this dude is clearly still talking about Starfield. They are playing Spider-Man 2, and they have still got Starfield living rent-free in their heads. I mean, this dude is basically flying around, jetting around in New York, and he is, I guess he's pretending that he's in a spaceship because they don't have Starfield, so he's kind of flying around going pew 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 kind of thing because he wants to emulate that Starfield airship battles sequences and whatnot. I mean, it's pretty sad overall, but you know, it just goes to show, and I've been seeing a lot of this, they are still talking about Starfield. The one game of the year that comes out, instead of them talking about Spider-Man, posting about Spider-Man, bigging up Spider-Man, they are still talking about Starfield. So whatever Starfield has done, good job. Because the SEO ratings are going through the roof. They just can't stop talking about it. And it's all because they want it so bad and they can't have it. It really is that simple. So this one over here is a new Microsoft organization that you may have heard of, the actual restructuring that's happening at Microsoft, unlike Sony, where they're basically getting rid of everyone and firing everyone and kicking everyone out of the company because they lost the ABK deal. Now they're trying to restructure to make it single-player cinematic story-driven games only. Microsoft has taken a much more different approach, and they've just completely restructured stuff. And as you can see here, this is the new hierarchy. Phil Spencer is now the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, and he has been that for a while now. Matt Booty is the president at Game Content Studios. Sarah Bond, this is an amazing promotion for her, and it is well deserved as well, as the president. And then you got the rest as the, the COO, Dave McCarthy, the CMO, and so forth. But I know, Bobby Kotick is there, but Bobby Kotick will be leaving in January. So who's going to replace Bobby Kotick? I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's nice to see that, people are being rewarded for their hard efforts, and especially when it comes to Sarah Bond, it's well deserved, and a congratulations to Matt Booty as well. So this one over here is really important because for the longest time under Activision, when we've been talking about Blizzard, it's been Activision Blizzard, right? It's always been with that Activision hanging over them. And for the longest time, I think we can all agree that, Blizzard has been handicapped, I guess. They've been restricted with their creative freedom because all Activision cared about was bringing that revenue in. And that was basically streamlining stuff and making as much money from it as possible with as little effort as possible. Now, what Microsoft is doing here is they're basically, and they're referring to them as Blizzard. They're not referring to them as Activision Blizzard. They are referring to them as Blizzard. And that is a huge, huge deal. Because now, Blizzard are their own creative team. Now, Phil Spencer was quoted previously in an interview, and you can see that in my previous videos, where he actually said that he wants these studios to work on projects that they love, to put that passion and creativity into the games and bring them to life. And if that means that they can work on games to bring back from the graveyard, that is something he's all okay with. Activision was never okay with this. Activision was, you need to work on these games only, and you need to make sure that they bring in as much money as possible. Microsoft is taking a different approach. Phil Spencer knows what goes, he knows what the community wants, and he is trying to deliver that. And when he went over to Blizzard, and he's referring to them as Blizzard, everyone now in Microsoft refers to Blizzard as Blizzard Entertainment. They've kind of gone back to their original selves. They now have their own full autonomous creative freedom to develop the games the way they want. Now, Microsoft has traditionally had a hands-off approach. They let the developers deal with the games themselves and provide them the freedoms that they need. And if they need support, they can ask for it, and that support can be provided. But I love the fact that he is basically giving back Blizzard their freedom. And for those of you that know the Blizzard of yesteryear, you will know what that means. It's a pretty big deal. So I'm really hoping we get to see some really cool stuff from this, and hoping that the Blizzard of yesteryear is finally revived, and we can see some amazing games coming from them without the shackles that was Activision. So this one over here shows Xbox achieving their best Q1 in its history. As you can see here from 2015 at 1.99 billion, they've actually hit $3.61 billion in fiscal year 23. Now this is without the Activision merger, so Q2 could actually be a lot bigger than what they're predicting here. Don't forget, this was done previously before the actual Activision merger, and so those numbers probably weren't factored into this. So that's a really big deal. So these could escalate quite extensively, and as we're about to see here, Satya Nadella is already talking about Xbox Call of Duty being part of one of its strongest games lineups ever at their latest earnings calls. And with Activision Blizzard King, we will now add significant depth to our content portfolio. We will have $13 billion plus franchises, from Candy Crush, Diablo, and Halo to Warcraft to Elder Scrolls and Gears of War. Now that catalog, those franchises there are massive, right? They're huge. We're still waiting for the next Gears of War, and Halo now is being developed presumably under Unreal Engine 5, which I don't know how I feel about that. But if they can get these games, if Blizzard can go back to their old ways and deliver the next Diablo in a much more meaningful fashion, or even just Diablo 4, change it in a way that it's how they would have wanted it 5-10 years ago, that's a big boon. Elder Scrolls is going to be exclusive to Xbox, so that's massive. Warcraft, World of Warcraft, Halo, big, these are big plays here. And we're looking forward to one of our strongest first-party holiday lineups ever, including new titles like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Forza Motorsport. But it doesn't stop there. Call of Duty Warzone Mobile. Now, Call of Duty Mobile is already available. It was bringing in $7 to $10 million a day. Now, Call of Duty Warzone Mobile has already 45 million pre-registrations, currently scheduled for release in spring 2024. This on its own is going to bring bank. This is going to make them so much money. And this is like them, from being a complete nobody in the mobile industry, they are going to become a complete juggernaut. That mobile money is dirty, but I tell you what, the way I see it, 45 million pre-registrations, there's going to be a ton of whales, a ton of content creators playing Warzone on mobile and streaming it and spending a metric ton of money because that is what whales do. They are going to make so much money off this game. And it just goes to show that, people said that the King aspect wasn't where they were going. It was always about King. This is where the big money from Microsoft is going to come. Man, 45 million pre-registrations. That is huge. When you compare that to games like Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, Tower of Fantasy, and, other games of its kind like Arknight's Enfield, where they get like 3 to 5 million pre-registrations at best, 45 million, and the game is like still what, almost 6 months away. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. That is gonna go up as well. Right, so this one is actually pretty awesome. Alan Wake 2 has a Metacritic of 89 on PlayStation 5. It is a Metacritic of 92 on PC. On Xbox, it's not being given a Metacritic yet due to too few review scores, but the Xbox version does support mesh shading, which is really important because this right here. Now, this is the PS5 performance. This is the PS5 performance mode settings with a 3070. So it's going to be slightly skewed, but it does have mesh shading enabled. The PlayStation 5 doesn't support mesh shaders. The Series X does. Now, if we're taking this into consideration, maybe we can knock off maybe another 5 frames from here at most, based on the settings. I think the Xbox Series X could, in performance mode, easily cap, stable 60 non-stop. And I've heard from Jez as well that the Series X performance visually looks absolutely amazing. He's actually opted to play in 30 FPS with the fidelity mode because apparently the graphics just blew him away. So yeah, this is something I'm looking to pick up and play over Halloween for my Halloween stream. I was going to play some other games like Alien Isolation, but this apparently is a really nice survival horror, so it looks like the perfect game for me to play. And though I'm undecided if I'm going to get it on Epic Game Store or Xbox, I think I'm going to get it on the Xbox, so I don't have any problem streaming it and just play it and enjoy it. Whether I'll play 30 FPS or 60 FPS is another matter. I guess I'll have to see how it looks and how it plays on my monitor. But you let me know what you think. Alright, Spider-Man 2. So apparently all those cheering like Nicola, Red Dragon, that it is the fastest selling, best selling PlayStation game out there. Wah, wah. There was some double counting of Spider-Man 2 physical sales in the UK charts this week, which means we've updated the story. It's now not the biggest PS5 launch of the year. Hogwarts Legacy is still the best-selling PS5 launch of the year, as sales were lower than previously reported, still well ahead of Mario. But, Mario has always been that game where it kind of sells over time and just continues selling. Unlike Spider-Man 2, which at this point, very little people are talking about it because they've already finished it. That said, though, all that showing off, all that laughing, all that mocking has now put egg on their faces because it is not the biggest PS5 launch of the year. It is Hogwarts Legacy, a third-party game that beats Spider-Man. Just thought I'd put it out there. And here's Colt Eastwood saying, man, Hogwarts was so good. I still need to play it personally. And I wanted to finish on this. So 15 to 20%, not good look at all. Not releasing Dreams on PC wasn't a good idea, given how incredibly creative the whole project was. They haven't released anything in the past decade, and this choice doesn't instill much promise into the future of this talented studio. Dreams and Little Big Planet studio Media Molecule is reportedly laying off 15 to 20% of its staff. And this is huge because, one, no one's talking about it, but if 5% of the staff got laid off at Microsoft, man, it would have been headline news. But obviously, it's PlayStation, so everything is going to be downplayed. But this is not looking good for Sony. Clearing out the CEO, Connie has been fired, the whole team has been removed, and now Dreams and Media Molecule laying off 15 to 20% of their planet, laying off 15 to 20% of their staff. This is not a good look for Sony. They are in complete turmoil at the moment. They really need to restructure and get back on their footing really quickly. Otherwise, things are going to get drastically worse for them. I mean, internally, it must be a complete minefield at the moment there. I mean, if I was there and I saw all of this happening, I would be worried about my job security first and foremost, because it doesn't look like anyone is safe there at the moment with the way they're kind of panicking and acting out after the ABK merger. Really bad stuff. But folks, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, we did set at 500 likes. Again, sorry for my voice. Let's hope we can hit that challenge. Don't forget to subscribe. We are very close to that 6,000, which is our next milestone. So I think we can get there really, really quickly. And of course, if we can get to 7,500 by Christmas, even better. I'll probably do a little giveaway as well at 7,500. I want to do the big giveaway at 10,000. So if we can get to 7,500 by Christmas, then that would be absolutely amazing. Right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Legend.